D365. So this D365 is built on Power Platform. So we will be working on the Power Apps, and under Power Apps, we have different types of apps like Canvas apps, model-driven apps, and the Power Pages. So this is a very high-level overview of the Power Platform, which includes the Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automates, and the Power Virtual Agent. So we will be working on Power Apps and the Power Automates. Under Power Apps, we have different apps. That is Canvas app, model-driven apps, and the Power Pages. Now, before going to that, first we will see like how this Dynamics D365 works. See, Dynamics D365 is built on Power Platform. Now, if you see, right, so this is the Power Platform. So in the under Power Platform, you can just go and see here. You can create the different apps here. So you can start with the Copilot, and you can create a model-driven apps. You can create a Canvas apps, and you can create a Power Pages. So earlier Power Pages used to call as the Power Portals. Now we are calling this as a Power Pages. Now this is the application for D365. So let me go to the application for D365. So let me go here. So this is the Power Platform Admin Center. From here, you will be able to set up the new environment and control and
Please, we
monitor
can't
the environment.
see your screen is steady.
1 second, let
Oh,
me stop and reshare. Are you able to see now?
okay.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the Power Platform Admin Center. And in the Power Platform Admin Center, you will be able to monitor and do all the admin related activities in the Power Platform Admin Center. So I'll quickly go to the environment here to see how this Power Apps looks like and what we will be able to do with these model driven apps. So these are all model driven apps. So you can see here, these are all the list of all model driven apps. Now under this, like this app, which includes all the modules of D365, and that is sales, marketing, and service. Now from a training point of view, so what we are going to cover, can you guys mute yourself? If you want to speak out, like you can just unmute. Okay, so from a training point of view, what are the topics that will be covered as a part of training? That we will see. See, this training is categorized into three different modules, that is administration, functional, and technical. So in administration, we will be covering the topics related to environment setup. So D365 application, that is Dynamics D365 customer engagement. This module comes with three types of deployments, that is online, on-premise, and the partner hosted. So first we will see in detail with the real-time examples and scenario how different industries are using CRM, and on what basis we will suggest the customer to go for online, on-premise, and the partner hosted. Online version of Dynamics CRM is the cloud hosting. You don't require any hardware, any software, or any dedicated technical team who needs to monitor the server 24 by 7. And the authentication for the online version of Dynamics CRM is Office 365. The next comes the on-premise. On-premise is where the customer has to purchase the hardware, software, maintain a dedicated technical team who needs to monitor the server 24 by 7. And the authentication for the on-premise version of Dynamics CRM is Active Directory. So in on-premise, customer has to purchase the hardware, software, maintain a dedicated technical team who needs to monitor the server 24 by 7. So there is an extra investments is required in on-premise. The next comes the partner hosted. Partner hosted is like Microsoft third-party vendors, like Microsoft partner companies, whether we have gold partner companies, Six Sigma companies, right? These companies, right, host the CRM on their environments and provide the services to the customer. Now, why would customer go for partner hosted? If you say, right, partner hosted will be providing some add-on services like customized banking application or D365 application integrated with some domain like hospital management system or some banking application, already customized applications where can just go plug and play, they can use it. So that's where the customers would get targeted to the partner hosted. Now, there is a full flexibility that customers who are using online will be able to migrate to on-premise to partner hosted, and vice versa. There is no restriction if the customer is using online should still continue online, or if the customer is using on-premise should still continue on-premise. At any point of time, customers can migrate from online to on-premise to partner hosted, and vice versa. Now, from a training point of view, we divided this training into three categories, that is administration, functional, and technical. So which will give you a techno-functional kind of a role. So in administration, we will be covering overview of D365 Power Platform. So if you see, right, so this is the Power Platform Admin Center. We will be covering all the setup, how we can create a new tenant, how you can create a new environment, how you can know the versioning history of D365, how you can take a backup, and then how do you use the data export services, data integration services. These all topics will be covered as a part of environmental setup, that is admin related activities. Now, not only this one, right, we will also be covering how you can create the Power Page websites, and what are the different Power Pages websites are available, that will also be covered. And then other resources related to dynamics, that is canvas apps, model driven apps, those all things will be covered as a part of environment setup. Now, once we are done with the environment setup, not only this, we will also be covering like how we can set up the development environment, testing environment, and production environment, and then a very high level view of CI/CD setup, that is continuous integration and continuous deployment, how we can do a deployment using the CI/CD. This will also be covered as a part of this training session. Next, once we covered the environmental setup, next we will move to functional. So this is the basic knowledge that everyone in the industry requires. Whether you are a technical person or a non-technical person, you need a functional knowledge, because we are not developing the CRM something from scratch. This application is already developed by Microsoft, and Microsoft has already provided some configuration settings, and then there are some functionalities which is already provided by Microsoft. So we should know like how I can fit this application in different industries. When I say fit this application, example, you wanted to use this application for a banking, how you can use this application for a banking, or if you wanted to use this application for some hospital management system. See, the word customer relationship management, if you say, right, every industry does customer relationship management: banking, retail, real estate, hospital management system, recruitment domain, training industry. Even if you're working in a software company, right, internally your company is also doing customer relationship management to get the new business, to get the new projects. They are doing marketing, they are doing sales, and also providing a service to the customer. Uh, you can take a live example of this training session. Training industry is also doing customer relationship management. They are generating revenue by selling the courses. Now, to sell the courses, what they are doing, they are doing marketing, they are doing sales, and also providing a service to the customer. What type of marketing they are doing? They are promoting an advertisement of a new course launch, right? So this is an advertisement, and you guys are the leads for a training organization. Now, after attending this demo, the lead may be qualified or disqualified. Example, not necessary that every student may be interested to join the course. If you showed an interest to join the course, then we say that lead is qualified, that customer is interested in our product, that is is interested to join the course. So like this, we will see different examples, different domains, how different industries are using CRM. And as a consultant, whether I'm a technical or a non-technical consultant, how I can map the business scenarios with D365. Now, if you see very high level of a customer relationship management, so this is a very high level of a customer relationship management. That is, it starts with the lead. A lead is an entry point to the any CRM system, whether it is a banking system or a retail, recruitment, training industry, any industry, lead is an entry point. But the terminology of the lead will get changed. Example, for a banking, lead is nothing but a customer inquiry. For an insurance company, lead is nothing but a policy inquiry. And for a recruitment company, lead is nothing but a CV. And for a training industry, lead is nothing but a student inquiry. And for a hospital management system, lead is nothing but a patient. So once the lead is into the system, it will go through some business rules. Based on the business rules, the lead is either qualified or disqualified. Example, you attended a demo. You may be interested or may not be interested. If you're not interested, the business is going to stop at this level itself. And if you showed an interest, it creates an account, contact, and opportunity. Once the account, contact, and opportunity gets created, we are saying that the sale is done. After sale, we are providing a service to the customer. Customer receives a confirmation email, and the contract info is found in CRM. Dispatcher create a case is in the support queue, answer is found in knowledge base articles. So this is a functional overview. We will do practical with the real-time examples and scenarios, end-to-end life cycle of each module before starting our customizations and development related topics. Any questions, guys? Hello?
No question from here. It's
Yeah,
fine.
go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for the update. Okay, now next, once we covered the functional, next we will move to technical part. So in the technical, first we'll start with the customizations and configuration. So in customizations and configuration, right, first we will understand the configurations and customizations, how we can achieve with out of box without writing a single line of code. Now, under Power Apps, we have model driven apps and the Canvas apps. Now, these are the topics that you are seeing, right? These are all customizations and configuration related topics. And for these topics, we don't require even a single line of code. Without writing a single line of code, we will be able to customize the application. So we'll start with creating the tables and the relationships. Let me go here. So the topics we will be covering, that is entity or table creations and the form customizations, main forms, multiple forms, role-based forms, quick view forms, quick create, multiple forms, table form, tablet form, that is, and relationships, one to many relationships, many to one relationships, relationship type behaviors, subgrid, lookup filtrations, web resource, HTML, images, JavaScript, and then how do we onboard users in D365? That comes under security. Under security, we have couple of tables that we need to understand before onboarding the users into D365. That is users, teams, business units, roles, hierarchy. So this will also be covered as a part of customizations and configuration. So we don't need any custom code or any programming to do these configurations. Without writing a single line of code, we will be able to do these configurations. Auditing, then that is entity level auditing, field level auditing, audit logs, templates, goal management, queue management, dashboards and charts, field level security, calculated fields, roll up fields, hierarchical view. Then we have view customizations, system views, personal views, advanced find views, quick find views, editable grids, lookup views, data management. How do we export the data? How do we import the data? Bulk record deletions, duplicate detection rules, duplicate detection jobs, duplicate detection settings, unique keys. So these all configurations are part of data words. Now, if you just go back to this one, so if you see right under Power Platform, we have a data verse. So under data words, these are all topics that will be covered. And these topics, as we discussed, like this doesn't need even a single line of code. All are configurations related topics. Any questions? And everything, whatever we are going to cover, everything will be practical and scenario based. That is how it is implemented in real time. Whatever the topics that we are going to cover, so we will take a scenario, and then based on that scenario we will do the practical, how it is implemented in real time.
Hi, Farooq.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to know web resources like C# cannot cover this
No, no, we
session.
once we covered this one, see, we have not come to that level, so it's just an out of box configuration. Now, once we covered this one, next we will start go to the advanced technical topic. Now, before going to advanced technical topic, we need to understand the technical architecture. So this is the technical architecture for D365 customer engagement module and the Power Platform. So whenever you perform any action from the UI, see, when I say UI can be a mobile application, it can be a web application, it can be an Outlook application, it can be a tablet application, or it can be a Canvas application, or it can be from any other interface. Now, whenever you're performing any action, now let me go back to the UI. Let's take an example. This is the CRM application. Now, in this CRM application, I am just going to create a record, or I'm just going to retrieve a record. Technically, what is happening? So if you go to account here, and then when I refresh here, for a technical person to understand what is happening in the background, it is pulling the data from the database and then showing here. Now, how it is happening, that I'm showing here. So first, what it does is that it goes to the client side scripting. So in the client side scripting, if we have written any validations, business rules, it will validate the data. If the data is not valid, example, you have written some code in it to check that user security role and user is not a part of this record, then you don't want to show that record. So it will stop at this level itself, and then it will go back to the user and say that this is not a valid request, or this is not a valid record. Example, we have around 12 records. Now we have written some code, and then I don't have access to some 5 records. So when I refresh here, I will get only 8 records. I will not get 12 records. This is an example I'm giving you. This is one example, technically how it works. Now, the first layer is the JavaScript. So JavaScript layer will validate the data at the client side. And if the data is not valid, it will go back to the UI and say that this is not a valid record. Now, once the JavaScript validations are done, then internally Microsoft has a WCF service, CRM WCF service. Now, this CRM WCF service, we have not developed it, or we are not going to create a new service. We're going to consume this service. Now, once we connect to the service, next layer is the plugins. So this layer is written in C# code. This layer is written in the C# code, and this box is written in the JavaScript code. Now here, the plugins, we can write a custom code here. It can be any custom logic. It can be, example, whenever you create a record, you wanted to check whether the passport number is valid or not. So to check that the passport number is valid, you have to write a C# code, or you can write some JavaScript code, which will go to the federal website, and then it will check that the passport number is valid or not. If it is not valid, we will go back to the UI and say that this is not a valid, and will stop the user from creating a record. So those type of validations can be done here, because this plugins executes in the pre and the post. What is pre? Before create, before update, and before delete. So any logic can be written before create, before update, and before delete. And it is not necessary that you should know right only for the validations, but if you wanted to do some data comparison before saving the records, so you can do that at this layer, before create, before update, and before delete. And we will see in detail how this plugin works with the real-time examples and scenarios. Now this box, whatever you are seeing, right, this box, that is plugins. So if you see here, let me go to the plugins. So this box internally executes in this way. So your request will come through the CRM WCF service, and from CRM WCF service, it will go to the event execution pipeline. So in the event execution pipeline, this is where the pre-event logic will trigger. And if the data is valid, then it goes to the platform core operation. And that in the platform core operation is where the Microsoft has written the code. We don't have any control to write the code in the platform core operation. What does it mean, platform core operations? Example, let's take an example. I went to the account record, and here I just created a record called test application and click on save button. We have not written this code. Microsoft has written the code. That is platform core operation. So I have not written the code for this application. Microsoft internally has written the code. So the record got created now. Can you see here? So where that code Microsoft has written, that code is written in this place that is called platform core operation. Now what we have as a custom developer or a customizations point of view, before create I can do something, and after create I can do something. What does it mean before create? Before create I can check some validations, that account number belongs to some department, some division, or some passport number is valid or not, some passport number is valid or not. This validations can be done at this place. Validations can be done at this place. Now after create, what can be the logic? After create, the logic can be, you wanted to send out an email, you wanted to send out an SMS, you wanted to push this information to Oracle database or SAP database or some third party application. That is after create, after update, and after delete. Any questions?
Hello.
It'd be
Yeah, please
okay.
go ahead.
Sir, while you, after writing the JavaScript, whatever the validation or whatever you write the JavaScript in the client side,
Yeah.
you said that if you want to execute, we have to connect to the web services, right?
See, the JavaScript are again of two types. One is the basic JavaScript, which doesn't need any connection to the server. So if you wanted to connect to the server and perform action, then we call that as a web APIs, web APIs and the Ajax calls, web APIs and the Ajax calls. So basic
Like,
JavaScript is for validation, that is hiding a field, making the field as mandatory, read-only fields, right? These all comes under basic JavaScript. And the advanced level JavaScript is that making a call. Yeah.
yeah, you have said that web services, right? We have to connect
Yes,
with the
this is the CRM service. This is the CRM service actually.
So, I mean, how we can connect with that web services by the JavaScript, right? Like if we write the JavaScript, we will save in some web, what we
Web
call web,
resource,
yeah,
web
web
resource. You are
resource,
going to
and
save into the web
yeah,
resource.
web resource, and we will validate by the debugging or whatever it is.
Yes.
So, what is this? How we can connect the web services by the
See, if you are
JavaScript?
using the CRM context, right, Microsoft has provided some sample code. So you can use that sample code and then connect to the CRM WCF service. So here, right, so REST and the web APIs. So these are the REST and the web APIs. And then I am also going to cover some tools, AI tools. With that, 90% of the code you can generate through AI tools. So let me show you one of the tool here. Okay. So this is one of the tool, CRM REST builder. So this tool, right, it will give the connection to the CRM WCF service, and 90% of the code you can generate it. Let me go to this one. Okay, so here I can give the URL. So whatever you are saying, right, how I can make a connection to the web services or on the CRM related, right? So 90% of the code can be generated. Okay, now let's say I am connected to this organization. I wanted to write a code. So JavaScript code to create a record. I want to create a record. So let me go here. So I can just go here. Let's say I want to create an account record or a contact record. Let's say I wanted to create a contact record. Contact. Most of the people uses this AI tools now. So we will also be covering the GitHub Copilot AI tools using Visual Studio and in our complete training session. So wherever the topic comes, right, we will try to leverage the AI and the AI related Copilot tools. Okay, now here I am going to, let's say, first name. What did I selected? Contact, right? Okay. Columns. Last name is equal to MSD. And then first name is equal to XYZ. And the email info@mail.com. So I want to write a code in jQuery. Just copy this and paste it. Complete code is generated here. You can just open the Visual Studio, create a function, and then upload this as a web resource. You wanted to use in Web API, just copy this and paste it. You wanted this in the C# code, just select this, C# code is generated.
So
You
like
wanted this,
you're saying this is the web resources, that's why we have using
which one?
web services. So
So this is a tool actually. This is a tool. Internally, it is connecting to this CRM organizations web API. This is the web API.
okay.
This is the web API. So if you wanted to see the web API related contacts, you can just copy this one, duplicate of this one, duplicate web API. So I don't need any authentication because already I logged in. So I will not be able to. So this is the web API. I'm able to retrieve all the contacts. And it retrieves in the JSON format. These all contacts are retrieved in the JSON format. And to write this code, we will use this tool, and then wherever you want, whether you want to call this as an onload event or on save event, JavaScript on save event or on change event, just you will copy and then you will use it. Clear? Any questions?
Sir, like my question is, I mean, why we have to use the web services? That is my question, sir.
See,
This one,
where we are using web services, this is internally CRM WCF service. We are not using any web service. It is an API. It is so to connect to the CRM database, you are using this API, web API. This is an API. If I wanted to connect to the CRM service, right, I'm using an API. Where I'm using web service? We are not using any web service. This is an API. And internally, if you see that, this is the service which connects to the UI.
okay, sir.
This service we are not developing. It's already there in the system, which we call it as CRM service. Now to consume this service, I can call from Oracle, I can call from Salesforce, I can call from SAP, I can call from JavaScript, I can call. So directly I cannot connect to the CRM database. If I wanted to connect to CRM database, right, I cannot directly go to SQL. This is not possible. I cannot directly go to the SQL. So what we have to do is that we have to connect to the CRM WCF service. And this service, we have not developed it. It's already developed service. So we have to write a code to make a connection to this service. So I can write a code using JavaScript or I can write a code using C#.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So we are not developing any CRM, any web services. We are not developing any web services. We are just consuming the CRM WCF service. Because if I want to read the CRM data, without CRM service, I cannot go to the CRM database. So this is a web API. Now here, if you just go here, you can use the jQuery. Under jQuery also, right? So this is the different ways to write the code. So I just take an example of create, but you can write any custom code here. Example, you want to create a, or you want to perform a retrieve multiple. You want to retrieve the record. So example, which record you want to retrieve? Contacts, right? So just you can just go to the retrieve multiple and then go to the jQuery or the web API. So you can see here, this is the code for retrieve multiple. And then same thing, if you wanted to use this query in Power Automate, so this will be the Power Automate query, fetch XML query. Example, you want to apply a filter. What is the filter you want to apply? That is email equals to info@mail.com. I'm just giving a hard-coded value. And then you want to use this query in Power Automate. Just go to Power Automate. So the query will be generated and you can use this as a Power Query in the Power Automate. Any questions, guys? Yeah, guys, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So any questions, guys? Any questions in the architecture? So before going to advanced topic, right, we will see in detail, because this is the basic and the core knowledge that is required when you start implementing the custom code, that is using plugins, workflows, JavaScript, Power Automates. So you should be aware, like, and you should take a decision, when should you go for the JavaScript code, when should you go for a plugin, or when should you go for Power Automate, are the workflows, the classic workflows. So the next topics would be in detail on the plugins, workflows, JavaScript, and the classic workflows. Now we'll also be covering the topics related to integrations with third-party systems. Example, we have an Oracle or an SAP or legacy system or a flat files. Now from this system, how do we make a connection to the CRM WCF service? So if I want to create a record from Oracle, on what basis I need to create and how do I get authenticated? So we will also be covering the topics related to Azure token-based authentication. So we will use the Azure app registration. So we'll also be covering some basics of Azure. That is how we can create the Azure account, Azure subscription, resource group, resources, under resources, how are we going to create an app registration? And using that app registration, how you can create an application user in D365 and get connected through token-based authentication. So this will also be covered as a part of training using the Azure, how you can make a connection to the CRM WCF service. Because you cannot directly use username and password now. Based on the security constraints, we have to use the token-based authentication. Now, when we make a connection from Oracle to Dynamics CRM, there are three different scenarios for integrations. One is the synchronous execution. Synchronous execution is like immediately the record gets created in D365. Asynchronous execution, every hour, or if we have a scheduled job, using that scheduled job, we will pull the data and push it to Dynamics. That is asynchronous execution. A one-time data migration is where the customer is having an old application, which is in Oracle or SAP or flat files or some third-party systems. Now, that third-party systems may be getting retired. So in future, we don't want to use the third-party system. So we will go with one-time data migration. So we'll also be covering some third-party tools and how using third-party tools that describe Dynamics connectors, how we can pull the data and push it to Dynamics. Now, once we cover this architecture related topics, we will move to the advanced technical topics. That is, under advanced technical topics, we'll be covering SSRS integration, ASP.NET portal integration. So using a portal example, we will see how we can make a connection and then perform all the CURD operations and then use the query expressions, fetch XML, query by attribute, SharePoint integration, Outlook integration, SSIS integration. Then under plugins, these are all subtopics. In detail, we will be covering plugins subtopics, that is architecture, development, registration, debugging, shared variables, images, plugin messages, impersonation, plugin constructors, offline plugins, execution order, exception handling, synchronous versus asynchronous, deployment, then workflows, workflow basics. This is the classic workflow. Before going to Power Automate, we will be covering the classic workflows. But the classic workflows in future, Microsoft is going to deprecate. But if you're working for an support project or an existing project, this knowledge is required. So we will be covering these topics also of classic workflows. That is workflow basics, workflow actions, real-time workflows, asynchronous workflows, child workflows, on-demand workflows, custom workflows, recursive workflows, wait condition, extending workflows with the code. The next term, we are going to cover the business processes, actions, JavaScript, business process flows, business rules, ribbon customizations, advanced JavaScript, OData, REST, web APIs. And the last topic would be the solution management. How do we push our changes from the development machine to testing and from testing to production, how it goes and how we can deploy a managed solution, unmanaged solution. And when we are doing a deployment, that is how do we give a pilot release or how do we give a sprint wise deployment, that we will see in detail with the real time examples. And then we will also be covering the Power Pages related topics. Once we covered the Canvas app and the model driven apps, we will also be covering the Power Pages. Now under Power Pages, right? So first we should know the architecture of D365. Once we have the D365 knowledge, then only you can go with the Power Pages. Now, under Power Pages, right, these are the topics that will be covered. How are we going to create a list? But before going to Power Page, you should know what is Power Page, why users use the Power Page. See, Power Pages are external facing website. And Dynamics D365 Canvas app and model-driven apps requires a license, and Power Pages users does not requires a license. A non-licensed base users will be able to access Dynamics CRM using the Power Page. So under Power Page, these are the topics that will be covered. We will be covering the forms, list views, and the iframes integrations, web pages. So here we have all the details. Let me go here. Okay, so we're going to cover the integrations, authentication, security, advanced configurations, that is liquid templates. In Power Pages, we will use a programming language called liquid templates, automations, deployment, AI, and the Copilot related features, integrations with the Power Pages. Clear? Any questions, guys?
Sir, in this topic, we have mentioned the Azure function, right?
Yes, we will be covering that one, as well as we will be covering the app registration using Azure application registration, how you can make a connection to the D365, that is called token based authentication.
So you can cover the like Azure function, service bus, logic apps, webhooks. It will cover under this.
See, logic apps, we will not be because we need a subscription for that one. But a high level, I will give a knowledge on that one. That is how you can use a resource group, subscriptions, key vaults, how you can access the key vaults, how you can create an Azure functions and application insights integration with D365.
Okay, like the Azure function and logic apps will give just like a definition how we can
Overview.
create.
Yeah, practically we will not be able to do because we need a subscription for that one.
Okay, then
But
service
remaining topics, every
bus.
topics will be practical on it. Every topic
So
would be practical and scenarios.
then service bus webhooks is also kind of theoretical or practical.
This also like we will give you an overview because we need a subscription for that one. So without subscription you cannot do it, but I'll show you the step by step how you can, because these are all configurations related only.
Yeah, like by using the plugin also we have to
Right,
integrate
we
the
can,
function.
yeah, we'll show that one, like how from a plugin how you can invoke an Azure function, or from a plugin registration tool how you can call a webhook.
Yeah. Okay.
Clear, guys? Any questions?
May I know which project you are covering for this training?
Which one? See,
Uh,
we will not go from a project point of view, because if we go from a project point of view, we will not be able to cover all the topics, because in real time also, right, in one project, you will not be having all the features covering. But yeah, so I'll give you an overview for the project, and the documentations will also be shared how the real-time project execution will happen. Because if we do from a project point of view, we will not be able to cover all the topics. So let me share my screen and then see, this is a real-time project. This is on hotel management system design. Now, this document covers the complete functional and technical design document, and it covers all the topics that is from the kickoff meeting to go live. Like how do you start the project? How do you create a flow chart? And then once you create a flow chart, how do you create the entities, tables, security, relationships? Everything will be there in the step-by-step documentations of complete project. This is one project, and this is another project which is on employee recruitment management system. So this is an example of Naukri, Monster, JobsDB, how these companies, right, use the CRM. The entry point for them is that it starts with the candidate resume, import the data to the candidate entity, schedule a technical round. If technical round got selected, then schedule a PM round. If technical round got not selected, then disqualify the lead. And then if PM round got selected, schedule the HR round. If HR round got selected, create an offer and send an offer to the candidate. This we are going to implement. To implement what are the fields, forms, views, and then the customizations are required. And then where we are going to implement this logic. This logic we are going to implement in the classic workflow. So here you can see that one. So in detail with the complete step-by-step documentation is there. So if we go with this project, we will not be able to cover all the topics, and the topics which we are covering, it is everything in D365 what is required in today's industry, which they call it as DevOps. So now, like whenever you're looking for a job, right, they are not giving you a complete a role kind of a thing like a functional consultant or a technical consultant or an administrator. They want you to be a DevOps, which includes complete knowledge of functional, technical, and administration.
mm,
So I want to ask,
Mhm.
um, are we supposed to have all these features before we can get a job? Are we supposed to know everything on this. Like, you have shown us the administrative aspects, the functional, and then you're going to the technical aspect.
Yeah.
So are we supposed to, and a typical job scenario, is one person supposed to handle all this, from this requirements gathering you just showed, to the process flow, to the documentation, to the configurations proper, and probably the post implementation, deployment, monitoring, and all that? Is that supposed to be the job of one person?
No, but it's not the job of one person, but they are expecting to have a knowledge for one
Okay.
person. So there may be
Okay.
multiple team members having a similar knowledge, but they're not giving a dedicated role kind of thing that you work only for a functional, you work only for a technical, you work only for a deployment.
Okay.
So if you just go and search in Google, right, everybody is looking for a DevOps role.
What exactly is DevOps role? Please explain it.
So DevOps, which includes both functional, technical, administration. So one person should
Yeah.
have a complete knowledge of functional, technical, and administrations and deployment knowledge.
So, before you said there is a only theory knowledge about the Azure functions. I mean Azure DevOps. There is
Yeah.
no nothing but at the practical knowledge, like a project, real time
Practical
project.
step by step, I'm going to cover you, but we will not be able to do practical, including debugging, those all things, because that requires an Azure subscription.
Okay, but it is helpful to crack the
You
interviews.
should, yes, yes, you should be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean that type of knowledge we can
Yes, yes,
retrieve,
yes.
or
Everything would be practical. So that knowledge you will be able to get it.
yeah. Okay, so but right now the Azure are asking in any way, so that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is why I'm not just covering only the CRM related topics, right? So if you say, and I'm going to cover all the topics what the industry needs actually from an interview point of view, right? So if you just see that from a training point of view, we are not just covering only the CRM related topics. We are covering all the topics: administration, functional, or Power Apps, Canvas apps, Power Pages, Azure related components are also being covered, because in interview they're asking these questions like
Yes,
how you can create an Azure functions, how you can connect to the Azure service bus, or how you can create a data factory, right? So these all questions are being asked. So that is why it's not just only the CRM. So we are covering beyond that what the industry needs.
yes.
And then we'll
So
also be covering all the rapid application tools and the Copilot integrations. Wherever is required, we will be using the Copilot.
okay, so I mean I have faced the interview questions about the Azure. So how
Mhm.
to integrate the Azure function by the about the integrations like Azure with Azure function with the CRM. So that's all. So that's why I'm
Mhm.
asking.
Yeah, so what we can do is that we can try with your one trial account, anyone from the team member, right? Because that will be valid for 30 days. So we can use that account also if you want to do practically, right? So there will be or 30 days trial will be there. So we can use that also if you wanted to do practical in Azure.
Okay, sir, sure. Sure, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
Any questions, guys?
Sir, the course duration is how many days, sir?
So this would take